Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to one of Money Magazine's top places to retire in the United States. That would be North Hempstead. I just couldn't resist mentioning it right off the bat. That's right, we're number 8 in the nation. That's a lot to be proud of. So it's a privilege to be here with all of you once again now for my 6th State of the Town address. You know, this address gives me an opportunity to reflect on our accomplishments over the past year and also to share my vision for 2019. And I know Amy did a lot of thank yous, but I'm going to do some as well. So I'd like to thank, of course, the League of Women Voters once again for their work and dedication, particularly President of the League, Julie Harnick, who's doing her civic duty by serving on a jury. Luncheon Chair Amy Bass. Let's hear it for Amy. What an amazing job she does. And of course, her team of event coordinators, Michelle Lamberti, Francine Furtado, Judi Jacobson, and Marie Bellin. Thank you so much. The League serves such an important role in bringing local, state, and national issues to our community, and we are all better informed because of those efforts. A special thank you also to the Harbor Link staff for following Amy's directions, and to my staff for working with the League to coordinate this event. So when Amy talked about the fact that our town board works in a bipartisan way, that is so true, and we're so proud of that. So I would like to now recognize our Town of North Hempstead elected officials and my very important partners in government who are here with us today. We have our Receiver of Taxes, Charlie Berman. Town Clerk, you have to bear with me, the wonderful Wayne Wink. Councilmember Viviana Russell. Councilmember Peter Zuckerman. Councilmember Lee Seaman. And Dina DiGiorgio and Angelo Ferrara would be here, but they are away. I know that they're here with us in spirit, and they all together are what makes this town tick. So thank you. Our town board is successful because of the spirit of cooperation, collaboration, consensus building, and bipartisanship. And in the words of Helen Keller, alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. And I think that our town board is a shining example of that. I actually wish that Washington would come and take a look at what we're doing up here, because that would be a model to replicate. And we're also so proud of the work that we do with our colleagues in other branches of government. So I would especially like to welcome and recognize our other distinguished elected officials who are here with us today, and how great that it's such a long list, because that's an indication of the fact that we are all working together to accomplish the work of the people. So we have United States Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, represented by Magda Campbell. United States Congressman Tom Suozzi, represented by Nick Felt. New York State Comptroller Tom DiNapoli, represented by Joe Galante. Our New York State Senator Anna is Anna still here? But she was here. She may have had to leave, but she was here saying hi to everybody. New York State Assembly member Tony Durso. Our New York State Assemblyman Chuck Levine. There he is. And I believe Michael Montesano was intending to come, and if he's not here now, he will be here soon. We have our former New York State Assemblywoman Michelle Schimmel. Always a crowd pleaser. Our Nassau County Executive Laura Curran was here but had to leave, and we're so grateful that she stopped by. And we have our Nassau County Comptroller, Jack Schneerman, right there. And we have Nassau County legislators with us. Now, Ellen Birnbaum would have been here, but her daughter's in labor, so I think we can understand why she is at the hospital. We have our Nassau County legislator, Delia DeRiggi-Witten. Nassau County legislator Josh Lathsan is here. He's the youngest everything. Thanks for joining us, Josh. I know that Arnie Drucker intended to be here, and Celia Bino as well, and we are so grateful for the work that they do. From our villages, we have some wonderful mayors with us today. We have from the village of Sandpoint, Mayor Ed Adler. Stand, come on, you've got to see who you are. From the village of Manorhaven, Mayor Jim Avina. From the village of Port Washington North, Mayor Bob Weitzner. Mayor Edward Lieberman. There you go, thank you. Seacliff, okay. Village of Thomaston, Mayor Stephen Weinberg. There he is. And we have Trustee John Popolewski from the village of Manorhaven. Thank you for joining us. School superintendents, we have from the Roslyn School District, Dr. Allison Brown. Port Washington School District, Dr. Kathleen Mooney. Dr. Jennifer Morrison, New Hyde Park, Garden City Park School District. Dr. Vincent Butera from the Manhasset School District. Dr. Robert Dillon, Nassau BOCES. And many members of the various school boards. I would also be remiss if I didn't mention, I know Amy did as well, but my husband, Dr. J. Bosworth, is here. He's the rock. So I'm also pleased, of course, to welcome our special district commissioners. I know we have, I think the entire Port Washington Police District here. School board members and our union leaders, including our own CSEA Long Island Region President, Nick Lamort. Nick, please stand. There he is. And we have our CSEA Unit 755 President, Kevin Williams. And our Vice President, Tom McDonough. And also a special thank you to my North Hempstead government team, my senior staff, they're all here, finance team, our town attorneys, controller's office, communications office, administrative services, commissioners, deputy commissioners, directors, managers, and of course our entire workforce, because they are the heart of this town. Thank you. So Amy's going to be relieved that I didn't mention everybody, right? Okay. So I am proud to say that in 2018, the town once again received a AAA bond rating by Moody's Investor Service. And that's the highest rating a municipality can achieve. And I have to tell you, that news never gets old for me. The top rating results in lower borrowing costs and passes on those savings to you, our taxpayers. We've also reduced our debt by $31.4 million since 2014. All of our budgets have stayed within the New York State cap without cutting any services to our residents. In fact, we continue to enhance programming, to expand our services, and to provide excellent constituent outreach. So we've accomplished so many things in 2018, and I actually can't really go through all of them, but none gave me more pleasure than cutting the ribbon on the Clinton G. Martin pool renovation. That newly renovated facility is state-of-the-art, and I know that the first season was thoroughly enjoyed by the residents of that special park district. And it also fulfilled our promise of having the pool closed for just one season, and we did it. If I had known what it involved, I don't know if I would have promised it so fast, but we promised it and we kept our word. Last year, I spoke about bringing veterans health care to North Hempstead. And I am pleased to say that the Northport VA Medical Center mobile unit now comes to Clinton G. Martin Park 3 days a week. It provides podiatry, physical therapy, and primary care. This was truly a team effort. Our Veterans Advisory Committee, who you saw some before, worked so hard to turn this dream into a reality. They did it by collecting petitions, writing letters, so that everyone could see the community support that was there for this. It could not have happened without their help and advocacy. So I'd like to take a moment now and ask that the committee members of the Veterans Advisory Committee please stand up so we can recognize and thank you. Yes, Matt is in the room. I'd also like to thank U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer, U.S. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, Congresswoman Kathleen Rice, and Congressman Tom Suozzi, who all worked hard to help make this possible. So now, instead of having to travel for hours to Northport VA Hospital, our veterans are served right here in their own backyards. Just want to let you know, this mobile unit is a temporary measure because we are advocating strongly and have been assured that we will get a permanent community-based outpatient clinic in North Hempstead. We're not going to give up. So other completed projects and accomplishments in 2018 include the construction of a new dock at the north end of North Hempstead Beach Park for non-motorized boat and local crew teams. It's a beautiful dock. You really should go and take a look. A partnership with Climb, and that stands for the Concerned Long Island Mountain Bicyclists, to begin construction of approximately 5 miles of mountain bicycle and hiking trails, and get this, no cost to the taxpayers. The installation of 25 sunscreen dispensers at our various parks. Again, no cost to the taxpayers because it was done through a partnership with NYU Winthrop Hospital. So, and I know everyone used them all through the summer. The addition of ADA-compliant beach mats at North Hempstead Beach Park and Manor Haven Park to ease mobility and access to the beach. We did some historic preservation projects that we can be proud of with thanks to our town historian Howard Kroplik, including a gravestone restoration workshop and historical markers added to the Montfort Cemetery in Port Washington and 2 locations in Newcastle. And in 2018, we instituted the Supervisor's Chamber of Commerce Roundtable to see how we can work together with our chambers to address some of the challenges that our downtowns are facing. So here's the important thing to take away from this. Shop local, shop small. Let's support our local businesses. This past summer, our Cultural Master Plan initiative got underway. This New York State Council of the Arts grant will help us find new ways to draw people to our town. The project is being led by the town's planning department and an experienced cultural planning team called, get it, Civic Moxie. The plan is an opportunity to weave together the cultural, historical, and business assets that exist within the town and our villages, and to identify the best ways to use them. Civic Moxie has been distributing surveys throughout the town to gather the opinions of residents. You can actually pick up a survey in the lobby on your way out, and please fill them in if you want to fill them in then, or you can use the link provided on the surveys to submit them. But it's important that we get the input from all of you so that we can see how we can best proceed. In 2018, our building department saw an increase in requests for building permits, which shows that North Hempstead is a great place for building and development, so long as it's environmentally responsible and a good fit with our community. Since 2014, since I first took office, we've increased staffing levels at the building department to improve customer service and enhance efficiency. In addition, we provide community outreach with mobile evening hours, senior mobile office hours, and extended early hours of operation by opening at 7 a.m. 5 days a week. We know people work, they can't all get there during regular business hours, so that we want to make sure that the department is as accessible as possible. New software in 2019 will help enhance the building department processes by decreasing waiting times, creating the ability to apply for permits online, and will also allow for the scheduling of appointments online. And our building department has just been doing a phenomenal job, especially in terms of the way that they reach out, and so that when people come to the building department, they're treated with respect, they're treated the way all of you would want to be treated. And so that's a wonderful thing, and we're so proud of that. We're also looking at ways to simplify and institute some common sense changes to our building code. And Councilman Ferrara has been very involved with this. We've been working together with the building department to find some, just, as they call it, low-hanging fruit, things that are in the building code that really are constantly being asked for variances, and they're always granted. So we want to cut that step out. Let it just be that it's part of the code. Yeah, you can clap for that. That's pretty good. So that's actually going to be introduced at our town meeting on January 29th. Community Services continues to knock it out of the park with events like our yearly Spring Festival, Asian American Festival, National Night Out, Kids Stock, and Beach Feast. Really, if you haven't been going to these, you should visit. They're fabulous. And of course, our town seniors are always a priority. Number 8 in the nation. Community Services runs our Fun Day Mondays with 1,000 seniors attending a day at the beach each Monday. And it offers activities such as dancing, exercise classes, a reading club, and more, not to mention the opportunity to just get together. Our Project Independence program is a nationally recognized senior program that offers dozens of weekly programs, free health screenings, as well as access to nursing staff, social workers, and handyman services. Project Independence also continues to provide hundreds of free taxi rides for our seniors for food shopping and discounted taxi rides for medical appointments. These services are key in enabling our older residents to age comfortably in place and stay in their homes, because that's where they want to be, and that's where we want to help them be. Our seniors will also be excited to know that our North Hempstead Housing Authority has broken ground on 77 units of affordable senior housing in Newcastle at the former site of the Grant Street School, something that Viviana, I know we've been working on that, and that is something that we're just very excited about. Our Parks and Recreations Department programming expands, believe it or not, each year by providing more and more opportunities for residents of all ages. We have our annual Memorial Day fireworks, summer concert series, Winter Wonderland at Clark Gardens. It just gets bigger and better each year. This year there was actually a day where you could bring your dogs to the Botanical Gardens, and you could get your picture with your dog and Santa. It was a big hit. We have drop-in summer recreation programs at Cammermere, Fishillo, and Broadway Parks, a summer recreation program at Yes We Can Community Center, and vacation recreation programs. So it is our continuing goal to increase opportunities for our town's families and their children. The Long Island Nets G League continues to call our Yes We Can Community Center their home. They've been practicing there since 2017. Having an NBA-affiliated basketball team in our community center is not only exciting, but the team is committed to working with our youngsters through various activities throughout our town, including summer basketball clinics at parks, and I know we had one at Petrus Park, we had it at Bunkie Reed, we had it at Broadway Park, at Roslyn. So really a broad array of parks, a huge success. And they also are involved in educational programs, and they provide tickets for our town youth to attend games. So it's really a win-win. The town's code enforcement department was the recipient, this is an award, of the Code Department of the Year. Let's hear it for our town's code enforcement department. So this was awarded by the American Association of Code Enforcement, and it was awarded to the town partly based on the department's work to enforce North Hempstead's pioneering Tobacco 21 law, which went into effect in 2017. And it's great that the county's doing it now too. Okay. We introduced and enacted several significant new laws in 2018 and in this first part of the new year. So I'm going to pretend I'm not distracted by that phone ringing, but I am. In December of 2018, we approved a code change that will help keep our newly paved roads from being opened up by local utility companies to do their repairs and improvements, unless it's an emergency. We've worked to synchronize our road paving with the utility companies to minimize the patching that can turn a newly paved road into a patchwork quilt. So we're really, that's a great law, and we're looking forward to making sure it's enforced. We understand and strongly support the need for medical marijuana dispensaries in our town. Medical marijuana plays such an important role in helping patients deal with the after effects of cancer treatment and other illnesses. However, we did question why North Hempstead was the only place in Nassau County to be home to these dispensaries. When a third dispensary was applied for, I just said, well, how many dispensaries are there in Hempstead? And the answer was none. How many are there in Oyster Bay? The answer was none. How many are there in Glen Cove? The answer was none. How many are there in Long Beach? None. So that meant that in all the other municipalities in Nassau County, none of them had medical marijuana dispensaries. We now had 2, with the third one being applied for. Suffolk has 1 in Riverhead. That was the original one that the governor had placed. So we believe that this is an important thing to be regulating. We actually, in response to the community concern, the board passed 3 pieces of legislation. We unanimously approved an amendment to the town zoning code that prohibits a medical marijuana dispensary from being used as a marijuana retail store, and we implemented zoning regulations for medical marijuana facilities. Now, if other municipalities start having medical marijuana facilities and then it becomes a need for North Hempstead to have more, of course we're going to look at that and do what we can to make sure that that's addressed. But it would just seem to me that other areas in Nassau County need to have medical marijuana facilities as well. It can't just be in North Hempstead. This month we also passed a law prohibiting recreational marijuana from being sold in the town. These laws reflect the strong concerns that have been stressed and expressed to us by many parents, residents, and civic associations. We've also been considering legislation to regulate gas leaf blowers and landscaping in general. We formed an advisory committee consisting of environmentally conscious residents, members of the landscaping community, and town staff to help craft a law. We had sat at town meetings again and again, and residents came to us with concern about the fumes from gas leaf blowers and the noise and just the amount of distress that it caused them. And I remember when we first looked at it, you had residents who felt very strongly one way, and you had the landscapers who felt very strongly the other way. And I can tell you that this became a 1.5-year project of meeting with the landscapers, meeting with the environmentalists, the town organizing the meetings, having demonstrations of electric leaf blowers so that we could see what electric leaf blowers actually could do. And we realized that some of them weren't at the point that they needed to be, so we didn't want to rush into this. But we are now finally at the point that we have succeeded in writing a law that benefits our environment and our residents without overburdening the landscapers who depend on this business for their livelihood. So we'll be considering this proposed legislation at our town board meeting next Tuesday. Someone said to us, we could bring your pajamas to this one because we have a lot on the agenda. So protecting our environment continues to be an important priority in 2018, and we've worked hard to make sure that happens. The town received recognition from the National Municipal Stormwater Green Infrastructures Award Program, surely the longest award name in history, as a silver level awardee in project management and innovation for its stormwater management and outreach programs. So what does that mean? It means that basically we're doing a good job of explaining to the public why it's critical to keep our stormwater clean and free of toxins, trash, pesticides, and anything else that doesn't belong in the storm drains. And the motto was, only rain in the drain. So it's on YouTube. You should take a look at this film. It's adorable. Carol Trottier is dressed as officer something, right? It's actually adorable. The town's barbed white quail program continues in 2018 as the town raised and released more than 75 quail last summer onto the Hempstead Harbor Trail and also in the surrounding 200 acres to help reduce the tick population. So how does that do it? Quails eat ticks, and they find that areas that have quails have a much, much reduced tick population, if any at all. So this is a method that is much preferred than to use toxic chemicals, which would then pollute our groundwater. And they're really adorable, and they're doing a good job. I've also continued to work on protecting and managing our groundwater supply and critical aquifers by participating in the Water for Long Island, the Groundwater Protection Project, which offers an opportunity for state, county, and town officials to work together for this common goal. I continue to advocate against New York City's quest to reopen the Jamaica Wells, a move that would withdraw an average of about 68 million gallons of water a day. And to put that in some kind of context, the 15 water suppliers that serve the entire town of North Hempstead pump an average of 42 million gallons of water a day. If these wells were open, it would be an additional 68 million gallons of water a day. That would be very concerning, and we're doing everything we can to make sure that doesn't happen. At my urging, several of the town supervisors throughout Nassau and Suffolk counties have also written letters expressing their opposition to reopen these wells. In order to protect our waterways, we at the town plan on closely monitoring, and this may be news to some of you, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and their New York and New Jersey harbor tributary study. In response to critical and historical storms, they're looking for ways to manage flood risks, which could lead to the creation of floodgates at the Throgs Neck Bridge. So as a result of these floodgates, this could possibly increase the flood levels for our own waterfront communities. So up until now, the focus has primarily been on New York and New Jersey harbors and not on the Long Island shorelines. As the study is still in the preliminary stages, it's important for us to be vigilant about the potential impact to our communities. The town was awarded several federal, state, and local grants for a variety of projects, including a $1 million transportation grant for our Department of Services for the Aging. That's where the free taxis come in. Funding to assess the water quality of Manhasset Bay, a grant to plant trees along the Manhasset Valley Park's tributaries. This would help filter harmful elements from the water before it reaches the bay. We also received several grants from the EPA to provide assistance to help assess, safely clean up, and use contaminated brownfield properties in Newcastle, enabling the properties to be revitalized and put back into use. Our town board unanimously approved a 5-year capital plan which addresses maintaining and improving the town's roads, parks, and facilities and maximizing grant funding. The plan includes $1 million for sidewalk repair, $4.2 million for asphalt road resurfacing, and additional $1 million for concrete road work, and that's throughout the town, and a $450,000 state grant to fund a nearly 1-mile extension of the Hempstead Harbor Trail. So that is really fabulous. If you haven't walked the Hempstead Harbor Trail, I would really encourage you to do so. It is an amazing experience. And now, with the helpful advice of the Disability Advisory Committee, last year we successfully restructured our CARE program for individuals with developmental disabilities. The program is now coordinated by Viscardi's Abilities, Inc., which has assisted us in professionalizing the program and improving services. In addition, the town is working with the committee to reach out to state and local officials, that's why it's good some of them are here, on issues such as property tax relief for families with adult children with disabilities who are living independently. So I'd like to ask the Disability Advisory Committee members that are here today, please stand and be recognized. The town also continues its Not in Our Town initiative, building on the message that prejudice, bullying, and acts of bias have no place here in the town of North Hempstead. Last year, this included replacing the Not in Our Town lawn sign in front of Town Hall with an added, "We Stand with Pittsburgh," following the tragic shooting at the temple in that city. We also held a student photo contest, asking students to use the Not in Our Town theme in their work. The students did an extraordinary job at using the medium of photography to illustrate Not in Our Town's anti-hate mission. And after this brief recounting, not so brief, we have some initiatives that we'd like to talk to you about that we plan on doing in 2019. So one of the projects includes, and it's included in our capital plan, has the potential of saving millions of gallons of water. And that project involves capturing the stormwater runoff from Harbor Links Golf Course, we're right here, and from the capped landfills located behind our Solid Waste Management Authority. The water would be refunneled to retention ponds to irrigate the golf course. This has the potential to save up to 35 to 75 million gallons of water for irrigation. Reusing stormwater runoff for annual irrigation purposes is a project that just makes good environmental and economic sense. So we're really excited about that. Together with our Solid Waste Management Authority, we're updating our public education for recycling. The market for many recyclables has changed drastically in years, and you may be starting to read about that in the paper. So we should be recycling only what makes environmental and economic sense. Within the next few weeks, you should be receiving a comprehensive brochure. And it was really put together by Robert Lang, so any of you who know Robert Lang will understand when I say comprehensive. It's really comprehensive. From the town, explaining these new rules and how to recycle properly. Many people feel they're recycling, and they feel very good about it, as we should. But in fact, if you put something out, and it's, let's say, a tin, and you haven't washed it out thoroughly, it contaminates everything else that you're recycling and actually can't be used at all. So this brochure will show you the right ways to do it. It will also have pictures of the wrong ways to do it. So, right, Robert? I just saw him. So that you can see for yourself how you should be recycling. And we're very serious about this. When you get the brochure, please don't throw it out. It's thick. We're hoping that you will keep it so that you can refer to it throughout not only this year, but for years to come. So please watch in the mail for this very, very excellent brochure. Next Thursday, moving right along. Next Thursday, we will be premiering a town-produced historic documentary called Defining Moments about the civil rights movement in North Hempstead. The film was funded by a $500,000, that would have been great, $50,000 grant from the National Park Service, and provides a wonderful opportunity to hear first-hand accounts of how the soldiers of the civil rights movement changed the world for the better. Many of them living right here in North Hempstead, including our own Lee Seaman. So part of this movie is you have Lee Seaman sitting next to Hazel Dukes, because they were quite the team in trying to make sure that civil rights had a good home and place here in North Hempstead. And it did. Martin Luther King actually spoke at Temple Bethel many years ago, something that many people don't know. Clark Botanic Gardens, and that's something that Pete is very, very proud of. Park Botanic Garden will be celebrating its 50th anniversary. Yeah, and if you have gone to the gardens, it's really had just an amazing rejuvenation. It's extraordinary, and actually, you can understand why it's called the Botanical Gardens. And to mark the milestone, the town and the Fanny Dwight Memorial Garden, Inc., the nonprofit arm of the garden, has scheduled many special events, and you'll be hearing about them as the year goes on. The Stepping Stones Lighthouse, with the help of a $100,000 grant from State Assemblyman Tony Durso, will see the construction of a permanent dock get underway this year. We're so excited about that very important step so that the renovation of that historic structure can begin. And there's more that's happening at the beach in North Hempstead as we unveil the design for the future of North Hempstead Beach Park. So, here we go. We are so excited to move the visioning of North Hempstead Beach Park to the next phase. Following a series of public meetings, and I know many of you attended those public meetings because we had meetings in all different areas in the community, we received literally hundreds of comments and suggestions. Our consultant, Quinnell Rothschild, has put together the conceptual plan that you see here. And this was then done with the help of then a newly formed visioning committee that consisted of representatives from every area of the town. And we thank the committee for their guidance during the whole process. The plan for the park will truly be transformative, with features including a year-round restaurant, which seemed to be very important to people who gave us input, and an outdoor cafe, a performance stage, a seasonal ice skating rink, sledding hill, volleyball, horseshoes, bocce court, ping pong, a soccer and baseball field, climbing wall, BMX backtrack, game tables, pickleball courts, and a multitude of places to sit, relax, and look out at the water. So I'm so happy that our other partners in government are here because we're going to be coming to you to speak about that. Tony Durso just got pale. So to move the project forward, we will retain an engineering firm to undertake the detailed design work as well as create a resiliency plan that addresses future climate change and sea level rise. If you go to our town website, you can see the plan online, and as I said before, you'll also receive a copy of the design when you leave. So this is kind of the town of North Hempstead's version of a goodie bag. When you leave, you'll get a survey, you'll get a design plan, and I hope you'll look at them carefully. Among the other features of the new park, we are considering a space reserved for the memorial to honor those North Hempstead residents who perished on 9/11. This has been an ongoing team committee effort, and we're going to have a meeting again with the committee to make sure that we are identifying a respectful location that can be accessed by all. So you have placed your trust and confidence in me as your supervisor, and I don't take that lightly. It is truly an honor to serve you. The residents of North Hempstead are among the most educated, enthusiastic, and civic-minded citizens. I'm proud to work together with all of you as my partners in government, and you can be assured that you will always have a seat at the North Hempstead table. In the words of President Barack Obama, it took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get where we are today, but we have just begun. Today we begin in earnest the work of making sure that the world we leave our children is just a little bit better than the one that we inhabit today. Thank you.